All right, welcome. It's Freddie Hodges with Duke Report. I'm here to bring you some summer content with my top 6 Duke football games I'm looking forward to this 2024 upcoming season. If you're seeing this on Twitter, you can check out bluedevilsblog.com. I have an article that you can read about the top 6 games, or if you're watching this video, you can check it out on my YouTube channel as well to finish this video of my top 6 Duke football games I'm looking forward to. Look, it's Wednesday, July 10th. It's very hot in Virginia, as well as I'm sure North Carolina and the surrounding areas. Side note, I got back from hiking in Death Valley, California a few weeks ago, and the heat here on the East Coast has actually got me missing Death Valley. Well, maybe not. But with that said, we are under 2 weeks away from the ACC kickoff, and actually 2 weeks away from when Duke will be represented at the ACC kickoff on Wednesday. I will be there representing Duke Report, gathering content, so be sure to check the YouTube channel at Skilo22, the blog, bluedevilsblog.com, as well as Twitter at Duke Report, and the next few coming weeks as we will bring you coverage and content from the ACC kickoff. I even think my good buddy Brian of Duke Football Talk and I are going to put out a way too early preseason bowl projection for Duke football while we're at the ACC kickoff. And I can hear it now. Josh Cox of Duke Football Talk is looking so forward to this bowl projection. I can just see his facial expressions right now. But these bowl projections early preseason are for entertainment purposes. At this moment, before I start talking about my top 6 games, I'd like to thank my sponsor, Trisha Johnson of Property Navigators, Smith Mountain Lake. Contact her for all your real estate needs covering Smith Mountain Lake, Franklin County, and the Roanoke area. That's 540-814-3399. In this day and age, you need a realtor that knows what they're doing. She has over 2 decades of experience. You also need a realtor that's willing to answer the real estate and non-real estate questions when you're about to make what's considered the biggest purchase for most people. And number 3, you need a realtor that's willing to go the extra mile, who works weekends, holidays, and evenings. Trisha Johnson is who you should contact for your real estate needs if you're looking at property in the Smith Mountain Lake area. Once again, that phone number is 540-814-3399. And if you're checking this video out from Durham, from Raleigh, or other surrounding areas and want to learn more about Smith Mountain Lake, just call that number, or you can even contact me on the socials and I will put you in touch with her. All right, with that said, let's get going on the top 6 Duke football games I'm looking forward to. Look, I love when the schedule gets released. I love looking at schedules. I myself work 4 jobs, and I have to constantly look at schedules and make schedules to balance out my work life and my play life. And looking at the Duke football schedule, this article and video is related to the top 6 games I'm looking at from a fan perspective. These 6 games I chose are not based on individual player matchups or team unit matchups, but they're more so based on how competitive I think the game can be, the entertainment factor of the game, what I consider a big game, and local and rivalry games. So with that said, let's get started. Also, the order of these games is in order of when they happen during the season. Number 1, I've got Duke versus North Carolina, September 28th at Wallace Wade Stadium. Looking at the schedule, and let me bring that up real quick. This will be the 5th game of the season. Duke plays Elon, Northwestern, UConn, and Middle Tennessee before they play UNC at home. Duke has the potential to be 4-0 heading into the rivalry game with North Carolina for the battle for the victory bell. Look, Drake May's going to the NFL. UNC has a new look. Duke has a new look. And as of this writing, I don't know the time of the game, but I'm hoping that the rivalry game will be another epic night game. It has been 5 years, 5 years since Duke has won the victory bell, and that dates back to October 26, 2019. So I know Duke fans and the players and the coaching staff would love for more than nothing but to bring the victory bell back to Durham where it belongs. The last two games in the matchup were pretty close. Let's see. Duke lost by 3 points in Durham in 2022. I know many fans remember that game. And then it was 2 overtimes in Chapel Hill last year, 2023. So I expect nothing more than an epic matchup again with North Carolina. Number 2 of my top 6 games, Duke versus Florida State, October 18th in Wallace-Wade Stadium. This is a Friday night game with a 7 p.m. kickoff on ESPN2. You already know this game makes the top 6. Look, I think Florida State has the potential to be a playoff contender. If you follow college football, you know last season they went undefeated. They got left out of the playoff. I think they have a chip on their shoulder and would love for more than nothing to run the table again and try to make a statement and make the playoff. A Friday night game with FSU at Wallace-Wade Stadium will be an epic matchup. I also look at FSU's schedule. Before they play Duke, they have a home game against Clemson and then an away game at Miami after they play Duke. Could FSU get caught looking ahead? I don't know, but let's look back last year to Labor Day weekend when Duke upset Clemson. This has the potential to be an upset game, but Duke football will have to be firing on all cylinders to be able to win this game. A side note, this is a big game that's also landing on a Friday night. I hope Duke University gets creative and cancels classes on that Friday, or at the very least, maybe have an early release schedule so that fans can get to the game and park on time, as well as fans be able to have time to tailgate in what will be an epic matchup between Duke and Florida State. So hopefully something like that will happen so fans can get there on time. Number 3, I have Duke versus SMU last weekend in October at Wallace-Wade Stadium, October 26th, with the All-Coast Conference. The Atlantic Coast Conference recent expansion to include Cal, Stanford, and SMU and the ACC. We now have a different look. SMU will travel to Durham to play the last Saturday in October. I expect their fan base probably to travel pretty well. I think SMU is on a mission to show that they belong in the ACC, and I think this could be a big matchup as well as a potential quality win for Duke football. All right, number 4, as I'm looking down the schedule, Duke at Miami, first weekend in November at Hard Rock Stadium. Duke's going to travel to Coral Gables, Florida in early November to take on Miami. This has potential, we know this has potential to be a very tough road game. This game will also spark the interest of Duke football fans as well as Miami fans, as Coach Manny Diaz will be in the middle of his first season coaching Duke football and returning to Miami to have Duke play against them, where he was the head coach from 2019 to 2021. Also, as of this writing, I think Miami, along with FSU and Clemson, are top contenders to win the ACC this season. With that said, I would love to see Duke pull off the upset on the road, or at very least make this a competitive game. But this is another game Duke will have to be fired on all cylinders, I believe, to compete. Number 5 of the top 6 Duke football games I'm looking forward to, Duke at NC State, November 9th at Carter Finley Stadium. All right, college football aside, I would go to this game as a sports fan because just for the tailgating. I've been to quite a few Carolina Hurricanes games, and I can just imagine that the Wolfpack games and their tailgating is just as good. Also, last year, Duke blew out NC State. What was that score? By a score of 24-3. One would think NC State has not forgot about that blowout loss and would love for nothing but to get revenge at home. Also, another side note, in a conference that now expands from sea to shining sea, it's nice for Duke football to have a local away game for fans to go to. Um, Raleigh is just down the road from Durham, as we all know, and to be able to have a road game, local Duke fans or even fans from around the area can easily travel to and get back home. Hey, saves on money for traveling and hotels. So it's cool to have a local rivalry game with NC State. Number 6 in my final game in the top 6 games I'm looking forward to in the Duke football season is versus Virginia Tech, November 23rd at Wallace Wade Stadium. This is the weekend before Thanksgiving. I believe this will be a very tough game for Duke, but I also think Duke can pull off this win at home. Virginia Tech is one of my surprise teams this year. I think Brent Pry will have them Hokies ready. And looking at the schedule, I could easily see Virginia Tech with possibly 8 or 9 wins headed into this game in Durham, looking to try to secure a top-tier bowl. Also, the times are not set for this game yet, nope, but I would love for nothing more than to have a night game against Virginia Tech this late in November. Those are my top 6 Duke football games I am looking forward to. Like I said before, be sure to check Blue Devils blog and Twitter at Duke Report, as well as the YouTube channel at Skilo22 in the near future for my season record prediction, as well as our first bowl projection coming out soon, as well as content coming from the ACC kickoff. Until then, stay cool, my Duke friends. All right.